G'day viewers, it's Michael here again and welcome back to SingleRacer and welcome back to rFactor 2. Now just for the final time I'll say a big thank you to one of my subscribers that donated the base game because I'd always wanted to try it but was always a bit wary about pulling the plug, hearing that it's a bit convoluted in the way it's set up and its menu and things like that. So he did the purchase for me and I'm very grateful. But also I want to say a big thank you to Mike Smith over at SimRacing 604, and that's because if you don't own rFactor 2 yet and were also thinking of getting it, he has a playlist of 48 rFactor 2 videos, and so I am I'm literally about a third of the way through it, but it was already enough to know that I wanted most of the DLC for this sim. And so what I simply chose to do was to purchase the DLC during the Steam Summer Sale. And literally it gives you a list of the cars and tracks that are added by buying this DLC, and I'm literally going through them one at a time. So first up today we have a race featuring the GT3 car pack, and I just wanted to talk about the four probably obvious cars, and they were all very impressive. So we'll start off with the Audi GT3, which I've always liked from Assetto Corsa and ACC, but also probably the other big three in this pack are the Bentley, the BMW, and of course we come down to probably what is arguably the best in the pack, and that's the Porsche GT3, the famous RSR. And they're all fantastic, and I really like the Porsche especially. But there was one car that for me personally just stuck out like anything. I think it is absolutely fantastic, and so I'm going to race that today, and it's this one up here, the Aston Martin. What a fantastic car, and I just had to feature it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to feature it on the new Portland course, but I prefer the sprint course simply because I don't like that little little curved section, you know, the S-bend if you want to call it that, because this car has such a good sound that I want to build up the full speed down the main straight to show you the sound of the car if you haven't happened to see it before. But the only thing I would like to ask someone, again, it's I'm almost completely comfortable with the menu and the way the UI is put out. You know, it's a bit confusing, but I'm getting the hang of it. The only thing I can't do is every time I race, and I've looked in the options or the settings, I can't seem to find it. But when I race, it's only the one car, and I cannot figure out how, for instance, you load. So you're racing against the whole GT3 pack. So if anyone can answer that for me, please put it in the description, because it's frustrating that whichever car I pick, that's the only car that features within the race. But putting that aside, I hope it's a good race still. It'll be 7 laps set with the AI set to 100% strength and 50% aggression. I'll just see how that goes, and we'll run 7 laps and we'll see how I do. So this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later, and let's go GT3 racing. Okay folks, so as we get ready to start this replay, I'm just waiting for the lights to change. Here we go, and we're off. Now I'm just going to short shift this initial lap just to see how the cars, you know, I've set them to 100% strength and 50% aggression, so I just kind of want to get a sense to see, like here I catch them up pretty easily in the corner, but I want to see if they take off from me. Whoa, I didn't even see where the road went then. This is the new Portland track, of course, so I'm still learning it. And I just wanted to apologise, speaking of learning, because I made the mistake of using the replay, and that's because, you know, I've mentioned before, I'm a bit of a control freak, so the replays in other sims give me control over making sure that the voice levels, the car levels and everything are ideal to, well, at least to what I like. And this is the genuine second attempt at a video in this sim, and I didn't realise that I missed so much for the replay. So it's not only the fact that you can't see what lap this is, and I was going to do a 7-lap race, but here where I cross the start finish line I lose the actual timing information. So that's the biggest disappointment, and given that I'm still learning the sim, there seems to be no way. I connected the wheel and tried all the keys to bring the HUD back up, but you can't seem to do it in a replay. So just for this once, please put up with it, and I'll learn from my mistake, given that it's so missing so much information from the replay, but we'll just have to put up with it. And speaking of that, I think I mentioned in the beginning that I made this 7 laps, but I'm going to shorten it quite a bit, given that there's so much information missing, not only the time for each lap, but just the fact that you can't tell what lap it is itself is also a bummer. But like I said, I'm still learning the sim, so from now on I know in this sim I have to record it live and just try and control the volumes before recording a bit better. So I have to say that right up front, the feeling of the racing against these cars is absolutely awesome. I always felt that AC was a fantastic, come on Slowpoke, there's a SingleRacer trying to come through. I always felt that AC was a fantastic all-round sim. It's still my favourite sim, but mainly because of the modding, and it'll be interesting to see how much modding is available for this sim. But the racing in this sim is just awesome. Even though you could argue that the AI is still slow in some corners, they don't seem slow like here. I'm really having to go all out to catch them, and the feeling of the front wheels, what you feel through the front wheels, and especially the curbing, I've never ever felt through my Logitech wheel before. It is absolutely fantastic. Okay folks, so as we cross the start finish line for the 4th lap, let me see if I can hone in some of these drivers. They're driving all in a straight line, but they're driving at such a pace it's still fantastic to race against them. I must admit this track isn't good for this type of racing. They all tend to drive in singular file, which isn't the best, but let me see if I can duck in here. Can I squeeze it through? Yes! What a nice pass there. I saw the opportunity and had to take it, but yeah, they kind of drive single file here, but I never got that feeling with my first video, so I think it's just the way the track is. It's probably not the greatest track for overtaking, so I'll be excited to try a few more tracks that I got with all the DLC. So let me see now if I can catch the cars in front. Okay folks, so as we cross the line for lap 6 of 7 here, let me see if I can gain a bit of speed by tailgating this guy. Oh, I love the way they cut you off. I've seen this in a couple other videos, but I think it's a great feature where he actually tries to chop your nose off, but he made the mistake of going to the outside and I ducked in on the inside there. So another good pass, but let's see now, we've got 5 cars left. Can I get into the top 5? The feeling of this is absolutely fantastic. Now, one thing that surprises me, and I know, you know, my lack of racing knowledge is quite bad as far as, you know, different series and knowledge about F1 and things like that. So I was surprised that I never thought a GT3 car could be supercharged, but this sounds like a supercharged motor. Just that beautiful whine. We have them here in Australia in the Commodores. A few souped up Commodores have this supercharger sound, and it's just absolutely awesome as I try my best to catch those 5 cars in front on the last lap here. So let's give it a red hot go. And no, I actually think this is the last lap. So there you go. So yep, it's definitely the cool down lap. So that's what I mean by it was a mistake to use the replay. So at least that's good to explain. So even I didn't know, judging by the replay, where I was. And so as much as it's logical to other people, I guess, that why wouldn't you record it live, it's more about just that control to try and make the video a bit more perfect. Given that I'm an amateur, I have very amateur gear, so it's more important to me to get the vocals level with the engine sounds and all things like that, where I hear other videos or watch other videos where I feel, oh, the engine's too quiet or the vocal's too loud, which I've done myself. So as we bring it in the pits, I hope that was at least watchable, but definitely the next video will hopefully be a lot better. So as we bring her into the pits, I hope you at least enjoyed that showing off this Aston Martin GT3. So this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later.